Welcome back to the Coming Down the Aisle podcast. This is the Coming Down the Aisle segment where each week we have a special guest and a special watch along. And oh, baby, we got the frat star, independent wrestling superstar, Dante Drago.
I didn't know
What's
I had
up, dude?
Yeah, I didn't know I was still a superstar now. Wow.
Oh, yeah, you're a superstar, brother. Look
I
at those
moved up
glasses.
now. Thank you.
If you're watching it on YouTube here, he's got some very fancy glasses on. So what's going on, dude?
Just hopping from party to party. Crazy 4th of July weekend. So happy Independence Day to everyone in America.
Absolutely.
Just super stoked to be here, ready to talk about some wrestling and watch an awesome match.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna be watching a match of yours from Grind Wrestling. Come and get it. That was back in May. Excellent match. We're gonna be kind of watching it. Card was pretty stacked as well too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when the time comes. But we got to talk about Dante and everything surrounding Dante. It's Dante's world. We're only living in it, baby.
Some would say that.
No. So tell me what you got going on. Real quick. What kind of bookings you got coming up, and where people can kind of find you coming up.
Yeah. So I guess really quick introduction. I'm the frat star, Dante Drago. I throw the best parties. I put on the best matches, and I do what I do in that ring, and no one can top me. I work predominantly out of Long Island. I'm spreading out to more of the Northeast, and I'm really excited about that. My next upcoming booking is going to be for Victory Pro Wrestling, July 16th. I don't know if that match is announced yet, but I'll be talking a lot of smack about that because I quite frankly think I'm one of the best acts in VPW and no one else realizes it. So we'll get to that. And then After that, really big weekend, some stuff I can't tell you about, but one thing I can tell you about is Creative Pro Shook Crew Fun Fair 2. We were in a street fight, me, Jack Tomlinson, Eric James, Larger Than Life, versus the Shook Crew, which I'm not happy about. Honestly.
Oh yeah. The Shook Crew, we'll talk about them coming up, but that's some excellent stuff. You mentioned your tag team partner, Jack Thompson. Jack was on a couple months back. Everybody go check that interview out as well too. But how did that relationship form between you and Jack?
So it's funny because we just talked about Shook Crew. Jack and I were kind of like the only two kids in the same group besides quick shout out to Mike Anthony. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Yep.
Another Cap guy. But we were kind of the only two that were really similar in age, and we didn't really communicate at all until one day I made a pitch to Max Caster, who was running Cap TV, running on YouTube every Mondays at the time being, and he said, "Why don't you and Jack start a tag team together?" So Jack and I started talking. We realized that we agreed on a lot of stuff, and we clicked on a really cool level, and we just kind of went off to the races ever since. So I'm really happy with Jack. I couldn't be happier. Rivalry University is going to take over independent wrestling soon, and
absolutely,
it's time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Y'all do a great job with that team. I mean, the social media presence, it's there. It's crisp. It's up to date. It's not anything you're, okay, I'm going to post this Instagram picture, which, guys are evolving with the TikTok and Instagram reels and things like that. So it's fun to see, and including YouTube vlogs as well too. So what's kind of talk about some of your inspiration behind behind the frat star. I myself, that's what we were just talking about.
Let's see,
but I was a frat star.
Yeah,
one time.
In fact, boys.
A group of other boys, we called ourselves the Frat Pack.
Yeah,
in honor of old Blue Eyes.
That's so funny. First of all, shout out to Frank Sinatra because I love that quote. The Frat Pack. If you go back to the initial Vlogbro University, the first 2 matches that Jack and I had, we were originally called the Frat Pack.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember that.
Jack Pack. I want to, bring more fraternity level to it. And the Frat Pack was born. And I was okay with it because I really didn't know. I didn't think that Vlogger University would reach the heights that it has,
Mm.
even if it's still small scale. But Jack was like, "No, we can't be called the Frat Pack." I was like, "Okay, let's think of something cooler." And he came up with Vlogger University, and I was like, "Let's do it." That's sick.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's cool. Yeah, so it's just a fun little thing. I mean,
Yeah.
that me and my friends talked about. But did you have any experience with fraternities or anything like that?
Yeah, so I am actually a shoot fraternity brother. Obviously, I'm part of the fraternity of Vlogger University.
Yeah, right, right.
I was I went to school up in Binghamton, New York. I
Okay,
wrestled for a promotion called Excite Wrestling, and I
okay,
went to Binghamton because there was a wrestling school there.
nice.
Um, I actually just had a match there last weekend, and yeah, fraternity has been a very big part of my life outside of
Mm,
wrestling as well as inside. And shout out to Phi Kappa Psi. I love my boys.
yeah, there you go.
Without them, I wouldn't be on this journey as a professional wrestler. So
Mhm.
I really give it all to them, and I try to make them proud.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know, obviously, I wasn't in the. I've never been in the business. You know, never had a match or anything like that. You know, just a fan. But you know, I see a lot of resemblances. Way you know, different guys interact.
Mhm.
It is like a fraternity, like they say.
Yeah,
Kind of talk about like some of those like the similarities of a real fraternity to versus the wrestling fraternity. Is it kind of the same situation a little bit?
well, yeah, like you do have there. The thing is, like you can't classify a wrestling friendship compared to a regular friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Because with like a regular friendship, you're gonna have a common bond. It's like, oh, you like Power Rangers, I like Power Rangers. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
friends. With wrestling, you guys are in the same work field. You guys are not only working together, but you're also traveling the road. You're
Mm-hmm.
going different places. I'll throw this out there. A guy who works in Excite, you might know him, HC Loke. He's an ECW original. Uh,
Okay.
Unfortunately, one of my good friends passed away due to a stroke. And last week,
Mm.
Excite Wrestling held this show in honor of his memory.
Wow.
And when we found out that he passed, HC Loke said that we are very lucky to live in a business that we say "I love you" all the time. You know, I'm not someone to really get emotional or talk about feelings, but when I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, it's, "Hey man, brother, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Love you."
Mm.
There's something really special about the brotherhood that is shared between wrestlers. It
Yeah.
really, really unique.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Like I said, you do have. I am familiar a little bit with that blonde. On a like I said, a fraternity. Uh, level. My best friend. I was the best man at his wedding.
Oh,
It's all
awesome!
because we were in the same fraternity.
Yeah,
So it was just it was very it was an honor. So, but kind of I have somewhat of the know that feeling. Obviously, never been in a locker room. Can't really speak to it in that
right.
to the degree we can. But it's interesting, kind of interesting parallel universe there. Um,
Yeah, I don't know
so
about that either.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So not to get too serious, but what are who are some of your kind of inspirations in the wrestling business, either current day, past, things like that?
Uh, I'll start off. I gotta throw him out there. CM Punk. CM Punk's the reason I'm a wrestler today.
Nice.
I when he came back to AEW, wow, what a feeling! It's
Yeah.
just like because I didn't even get into wrestling because of wrestling. I got into it because of video games.
Mm.
But he's a big one. Um, I guess I'll throw Ziggler out there. I'll definitely say Cody Rhodes. Love Cody. I used to be a huge Kenny Omega mark. Kind of still am. Other than that, some classic guys. I love Steamboat. I love Owen Hart, and
Mm.
I love Brett. I'm
Right.
a Brett over Sean guy, even though Sean is probably one of the best workers ever. I love the technicality of Brett and how he works. Very decisive.
Yeah, yeah, and that's man, it's you're either Brett or Sean guy. For me though, honestly, I'm slightly over Sean over Brett, but I mean it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a frog hair close
That's the
difference.
thing. you can't classify one over the other because it's just
Right.
styles, and that's what's cool
Right.
about wrestling. It's all about different styles. You like one
Mm-hmm.
thing, I like the other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what happens when you put them together?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just exactly style differences.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have a separate show where we do the list, which is a top 10 of ex wrestler matches. This month we're doing Brett and Sean. So top
Ooh.
10 Brett in one episode, top 10 Sean. So everybody stay tuned. Actually, Brett was last weekend. Sean will be coming up. So everybody check that out. But yeah, quick cheap plug. Sorry, but yeah, the reason why I bring that up though, I was trying to fill out my matches. It's tough doing
Yeah.
top 10 Brett and Sean matches.
Well, I'm trying to go through like the top 3 Shawn Michaels matches in my head. Like Bad Blood and Hell in a Cell comes to mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, Taker Michaels again. Um, I just watched the Elimination Chamber from New Year's Resolution that Edge cashed in the Money in Bank on.
Oh yeah.
That match super underrated. Oh my god,
Right.
I've
Yeah, I
seen
forgot about
that
that.
match. Just so much fun.
Uh huh.
That's
Yeah.
like peak Cena where like everyone's like kind of like on him and like it didn't.
Yeah. Talk about some of your personal goals in wrestling and in life, whatever you want to talk about. That
Yeah,
give
I
us
mean
some of your goals. What are some of your goals?
they go
Get through
hand in
this.
hand, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very goal oriented person, but I don't like to set goals that are like attainable within like a day.
Mm-hmm.
A huge goal of mine for the end of 2022 is to be on AEW Dark. Um,
Okay.
Something I haven't done yet, something I really want to get my feet in. I was on WWE programming, but I want to get my foot in the door for AEW.
Right.
Um, I want to wrestle more in the Northeast. I would love to wrestle for a big indie, potentially Beyond Wrestling or, something like that. My goal for this year is to just wrestle as much as possible. And so far, I've been doing it. I'm going through probably the most packed 2 months of my career coming forward,
Awesome.
and I couldn't be happier. To have every weekend looking forward, just wow, show, 3 shows, 2 shows, like it's
That's good.
really cool. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's obviously it's a testament to you and your talents.
Thank you.
It's also a testament, to how healthy the business is. I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
places to wrestle and make a living and do what you can do to get your craft uh, to the highest peak it
yeah.
can. So, and you were trained at Creative Pro. I've had actually I've been fortunate to have a lot of Creative Pro folks here. Phil Cardigan, Jack, like I mentioned. Uh, I got also had Andrew Huswar who's training as well right now. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. I got to know Huss through the major pod people,
Yeah.
whatnot. So, but kind of talk about Creative Pro, how much it means to me because we talked about fraternities earlier. I mean that's another one like
Yeah.
there's a bond. It's just like real. You could see it. So
There's so much pride that I take from being a Creative Pro graduate, and not just in my body of work as a wrestler, like inside the ring, but how I carry myself outside the ring. You
mhm.
know, I'm pretty fortunate to say that I haven't had really any issues with any locker room people. Um, I'm, I hope I'm well liked by all locker rooms that I'm in. But that's the stuff that Creative Pro teaches you. It's will give you all the tools you can to learn, and let's see what you can make of it. And the amount of knowledge that's there is almost unfair to other pro wrestling schools. And I'm sure other pro wrestling schools are filled with knowledge, filled with years and years of experience.
Mhm.
H2O is a great school. Nepois is another great school in the Northeast. But Creative Pro for me, I don't think you could beat it. Pat Buck
Mhm.
has been working for WWE for the past year and now is with AEW.
Mhm.
Brian Myers has wrestled for almost every single major promotion in America.
Mhm.
You have guys like Caster, MJF, Chris Statlander, Bear Bronson, all these guys, and they come because they care about the school and they care about the student.
That's cool.
So it's awesome to be able to pick their brains, but also, you know, have that kind of backing where it's like, okay, they made it, I could do it next.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I'm like, anybody that's just wanting to, get in the business. I mean, I live in the Northeast. That's exactly what Huss for. He
Mhm.
was like, look, something I always want to do. I live near the facility. He did it, and we
Yeah,
never talk. And as he was, thinking about doing it, I was like, dude, do it, because he's a few years younger than me. And there was that one time where I kind of myself was like, this is probably 2010, somewhere around there. I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool, but no clue. Now we live in an age where it's like you can find schools, but
yeah.
I didn't want to get into somewhere where it'd be like, yeah, you got ripped off,
Yeah, it does
so
happen,
it's tough.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is very scary. I mean, I think due to the internet and everyone really getting the name out there, like that stuff gets picked up right away right now. But before, yeah, you can go to some guy and he'll say, "I'll train you for 3 months. Just give me three
Yeah.
grand."
Yeah.
And he'll
Yeah.
just take the 3 grand, and then the next day he's gone.
Right. Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad, but like I said, it's I still have thought about doing it mainly, but as like weekend warrior,
Mhm.
almost as like if I was to go do CrossFit or you know Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, just go learn, just go do pro wrestling as a hobby, so
Yeah.
it's something that's out there as well, but so let's kind of get switch gears a little bit. We're gonna talk about this match we got going on, but talk about grind wrestling specifically. What type of promotion, where they're located, and things like that.
So this was my debut match for Pro Wrestling Grind, and I'm
Mm,
really looking forward to going back there and hoping I go back there. Um, Pro Wrestling Grind is a very strong style, very
mm,
Japanese influenced promotion. You couldn't
mm,
tell by the ring entrances or by the ring structure and how the cameras
mm,
designed. Um, it is a basically brand new promotion, and I think that's so beautiful because there's a lot of new promotions that come up
mm,
and it's doing the same stuff, and it's
mm,
just it's a pro wrestling show. Awesome, great, I love that. Pro Wrestling Grind is really putting its name out there, really trying to showcase itself and showcase the wrestlers that it has on its roster, and it's doing something completely different in the Northeast, or at least in my opinion, that's what they're doing. Um, I'm looking forward to going back there. I want to go back there and take over their tag division with Jack because I know we can.
yeah,
Uh,
obviously.
Stop us. Um, but it's a really young promotion, and there's such a bright future
Hmm.
ahead of all the stars of Pro Wrestling Grind that I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, and this particular card, I admit it. Did watch it live, but I was looking at the card, um, you know, afterwards or today actually, but it's got Willow Nightingale, who's wrestling for AEW right now,
Mm-hmm.
O'Shea Edwards, who used to wrestle for Ring of Honor,
Big Bad Kaiju.
and yep. And I'm trying to think some who else we have here.
Perry
Um,
Von Vicious.
yes. He's Invictus. Is that right? What I mean,
He's a Blitzkrieg guy.
let's Greg Invictus. Okay,
Teams with Dr. J. Klang
right. Okay,
on Wrestling Open. I think it,
that's right. The Wrestling Open.
Yep.
Yep. So a lot of big names, and then you got the biggest name, Shook Crew and Dante, main event in
Yeah.
this sucker.
Versus the
Uh,
Ultimate Boys.
Yes. Talk about we'll talk about the match, but you kind of alluded a little bit to it. You teaming up with Shook Crew. Kind of was a little controversial.
So, all right, we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. Basically, I've done work for Shook Crew before. There was a situation when Bryce got injured, where he asked me to go down to Blitzkrieg Pro to deal with some business for him.
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I couldn't come out with the win on that one, and they offered and said, "Hey, you came through on this one. Do you think you can make it for this grind match?" I said, "You know what? I want to be in Shook Crew. I want things to be mended between Larger Than Life and Shook Crew. I'm going to be the one to extend the olive branch. I'll go to grind with you guys. And plus, I'm a very big fan of Japanese wrestling. The Saito Bros are guys who I've seen their first show in America at. So I always wanted to work them. And Jay Freddy is one of the top indie workers in the Northeast. And I don't care what anyone says, he's amazing. And it proves it while I'm in the ring with him.
Mm-hmm.
But after the match, things didn't really go as planned for me. And I was kind of tossed to the wayside by Shook Crew. So I have a very big bone to pick with them this upcoming July 24th.
Well, and we'll get to that here just shortly. You can actually, if you have a subscription to IWTV, you can follow along with us, watch it on there. If you don't, it's okay. We're gonna call this match. You know, you got me, Tony Schiavone, Boney Schiavone, with right here, and my color commentator, Boney Schiavone here. So, we're gonna cover this match, give you all the details as we go along to it, and of course we got one of the performers here in the match with us to kind of guide us along. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching here on YouTube, this is kind of our sayonara. Thank you so much, but we're gonna continue here on the audio version of the podcast, and we're gonna go ahead and get this match pulled up